listening to Strange Label.
Hello, this is the Chris Breaks Show. I'm Chris Breaks, and my good friend John Rapp, and our co-host Jake. What's up, Jake?
Hey, what's up? I don't have my mic on.
Oh.
Or headphones on.
Well, good. Good for you, Jake. I'm glad you told us that. Let's start this show. Uh-oh. No. Something weird happening? No, something... What is happening? Does that sound weird to anybody else? Oh, man. What am I doing, John?
Do you usually have an effect on it?
Yeah, I thought I did. Is my plug not plugged in? This is Chris Breaks Show, live every Wednesday nights at 8 p.m. Eastern Time on strangelabel.com. All past episodes available on chrisbreakshow.com. Today, we have a very special guest. His name's Dave, and I want to warn you, the majority of the talk today will be about the Netflix documentary series entitled Making a Murderer, about Steven Avery and that whole case, and Brandon Dassey. So if you have not seen that, don't listen to this unless you don't care. If you're familiar with it, it's a Wisconsin case, crime, murder, rape, all that stuff. Is he innocent? Is he not innocent? Who knows?
Maybe they want to start the movie in the middle.
What was that? What do you mean?
They don't have to turn it off.
Yeah, but this is the end.
All right, let's start from the end.
Jake, what are you doing to me?
Packing a bowl.
What? With what? Like with oatmeal?
Yes.
Okay,
boiling
good.
water at the moment.
All right, good. So we're gonna speak to this guy. Jake, is there anything you want to know about this gentleman?
How's he connected to Steven
Avery. Okay, this gentleman, if I am correct, he lived in Manitowoc County for 40 years. I believe. Does that sound right, John?
Yeah, his whole life, and then he moved to Texas.
His whole life, he lived in the same town that Steven Avery lived, in the Avery salvage yard. This gentleman was there. He saw it all. He was a part of everything. And he has some very interesting connections to it. And we're just going to talk to him about that town and what it was like living there. Really. John Rapp. What's going on?
Yo.
We're going to call him about 4 minutes. I believe that's what we told him. That's something I was going to tell you, John, but I totally forgot.
Oh.
No.
I started a new diet, in a way.
Ah.
I hate these diets, and I hate talking about them. Because I was trying to do that paleo diet, which is basically kind of a caveman all-meat diet, nothing processed. And then I switched. I stopped doing that. It wasn't working out. And I kind of went the opposite direction. And now I'm trying this Pendulette diet.
Everything processed.
No, it's a vegan diet. Yeah, it's called Eat to Live. And it's weird. It's a lot of greens. But basically what I found out is that I don't like any of that food.
Yeah.
So
I would have thought you knew that from being vegetarian/vegan.
I was a vegan for 2 years, about 10 years ago. But this time I'm trying it, and I all my cabinets, all I have is this food for this diet, you know? I got rid of everything else.
That's the way to do it.
Yeah. So now when I go in the fridge, I'm like, I don't want to eat any of this shit.
Okay, sounds like it's working.
It is, but I don't. The whole point is that it's supposed to be just a high nutrient, low food count. You know what I mean? Like you just eat the superfoods. That's all you eat is the superfoods.
Like what kind of food?
Vegetables, greens, raw foods. You know.
How does Pendulette survive on this?
Some grains, fruits, basically just fruits and vegetables, is
Okay.
what it comes down to. No meat, no animal products. It's supposed to be, like a science-based diet that prevents and cures a lot of diseases. Like a guy named Dr. Joel Furman. I don't know, but it's a weird feeling now because now I feel like I've just stopped eating, and then like every day I might have like a half a salad. It's not healthy at all. But I can't say that I've lost weight.
How much weight?
9 pounds.
Wow.
Yeah, 9 pounds.
Congratulations. That's a big deal.
Yeah, it is a big deal. But see, I thought because I started off at 220, and now I weigh 111 or 211. And the whole plan was going to be, that I was going to get to, I think 190 was my goal. I think I wanted to be 190.
So you're like a third of the way there?
Yeah, for some reason in my head, like I had my BMI, my body mass index.
Yeah, that's what they talk about.
It was supposed to be 190. But I looked that up, and I don't know where I got that number from because it's completely wrong. Yeah, it's completely wrong.
Is it you're supposed to have a lower weight than 190?
Yeah, 130.
130? What?
Apparently, my body mass index for my height.
130? That's kind of, that sounds a little bit much.
kind of fucked up.
Yeah.
You think the BMI chart's kind of fucked up?
I've heard it's fucked up.
I've heard that too, yeah. But 130? Like, that doesn't sound healthy.
Because technically right now I'm 80 pounds overweight.
If you were 130 and had all muscle, I'd understand that, but...
That's the other thing with this diet. You're not supposed to exercise.
Oh.
At the beginning.
What?
Yeah, at the beginning. It makes a lot of sense if you check it out, Jake.
Okay.
This was created by scientists, all right?
I pulled something up on it. What's it?
We'll go to a different fad next year.
I know.
Well, no, everyone knows Pendula. I mean, that guy lost tons of weight. If you haven't seen him recently, go look at a picture of him. He doesn't even look like the same guy. And he lost it all doing this stuff. It sounds interesting. He says he eats tons of food. I eat unbelievable amounts of food, just very, very, very healthy.
He's tall enough to be like a freaking brontosaurus.
Yeah. Now tell me that guy's supposed to be 130. I don't think so.
He's probably like 230.
Well, he's also like 6'8", 6'8".
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
Or something. But he lost an insane amount of weight in a short amount of time just by doing this diet.
It says he lost an average of 0.9 pounds a day. That's good.
Any kind of weight really fast like that is bad.
I've heard that.
Yeah, well, he was going to his doctor throughout the whole thing.
Daily checkups.
Just to make sure, that he was...
Make sure your heart's not falling apart.
Yeah, he had a doctor.
Daily checkups. Yeah, spend a lot of time in the doctor's office. But he says he eats tons of blueberries and stuff. Blueberries are pretty good.
Yeah, there's a whole...
Plain cocoa powder and blueberries.
Blueberries are good in
Check it out.
antioxidants.
Right.
Antioxidants?
Yeah.
Is that the same thing? That's probably the same thing.
Yeah.
See, Jake...
We pronounce them all the same.
Jake, Penn Jillette lost 105 pounds in 86 days.
It's amazing.
Yeah. But he was eating. I kind of just stopped eating. Although not on purpose, just because I go in there and it's just like, there's nothing in here that looks good to me.
Yeah.
It's not healthy.
Chris, what I've been doing is this guy is juicing. Like you take all that stuff and you throw it into a blender and you drink it.
Yeah. I think that would help me. We've got the book downstairs, and he does have ingredients or recipes for exactly what you're describing.
You should try that, man, because it's a lot easier to eat a whole plate of vegetables, if you crunch it up into a juice.
Oh, yeah. Lana was doing that for a while.
Who's Lana?
My brother's girlfriend.
Is she the stripper?
Oh, definitely not.
Oh. Hey, let's call this guy.
Call up Dave.
Dave Skylark. This is not Dave Skylark. All right.
This is going to be interesting, though.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to hearing about this.
There we go.
Here we go.
Hello.
Hey, Dave. This is Chris and John.
Jake.
And Jake.
This is me.
Hey, thanks for coming on here and talking to us about this.
Yeah, no problem, man.
I don't even know where to begin, other than you've had some very interesting ties to this whole Steven Avery case. Like,
yeah, it almost seems like a curse to me, man. It ain't, a lot of people on the internet are ripping on me and saying I'm looking for my 15 minutes of fame, and that's not it. This is not about me, other than the shit I've experienced and the stuff I'm willing to share with you, Where do you want me to start? I mean,
I don't know. I should have had that written down because there's so much.
Well,
like now at the very beginning of this whole case, was it 30 years ago?
Yep, 1985.
1985, when the woman, I can't remember her name because there's so many names, but
Penny Beerntsen.
What was her name? Penny what?
Penny Beerntsen. They own a candy store in Manitowoc.
Penny Beerntsen. She was the way the documentary starts off is she was raped on a beach.
Yeah, she went for a run on the beach, and I was down there jet skiing on my jet ski, and she ended up not coming back from her run, and her husband and a police officer asked me to go look for her with my jet ski. So I got on my jet ski and I rode up the beach, and right where this is, it's kind of a secluded part of a beach, part of the area. It's a state park, and there's sand dunes and stuff. And the sand dunes are pretty high; you really can't see over them. And I went up the beach a ways, and about 4 or 5 miles, and I turned around, and on my way back, I saw her come running over the sand dunes like she was on fire. Like someone was chasing her. And the cops had started walking up the beach too. So it was almost to where they were. And I pulled my jet ski in and went running up there, and there was 2 people that happened to be walking on the beach with a towel, and she was covered in blood, naked. I think she had her bikini bottoms on, but she was naked, covered in blood, screaming bloody murder. She was assaulted. And my immediate thought was to run over the sand dunes and catch the guy that did it. I'm in pretty good shape, and I'm not scared to chase someone down or did something like that.
So she came running out, and then you started taking off to the sand dunes to catch the guy?
Approximately, where she came from, and I went running up onto the sand dunes, and the 2 cops started hollering at me, no, stop, and I ran up to the top of the sand dunes, and there was a number of people there, One guy was standing in front of me, and he was kind of looking on the ground and maybe picking something up. There was another guy laying on the sand dunes, peeking over the sand dunes at the people on the beach, like he was kind of hiding but looking over. And there was a few more people back towards the woods, which, maybe 50, 60 yards away. And the cops are screaming at me, no, come back. We got people over there. You're going to mess up the crime scene, So, all right, I come back down at the sand dunes, and that was about it for what I saw that day. They took her away, and, they went on to their framework of Steven Avery. But, it never really sat right with me that day. Things that I saw earlier, I was watching the road because people had been harassing us for making noise at the beach. So I was kind of watching for cops, and it seemed like there was a lot of cops around that day. I saw an unmarked county cop that, I don't know, it just seemed weird to me,
Did you normally see cops like that unmarked, like on a regular basis?
It seemed like too much for me, you know what I mean? Now looking back especially, I remember that day playing because it was out of the ordinary. That kind of stuff doesn't happen in Two Rivers. It was real, I was shocked, it really affected me to see her, all bloody and shit like that, and like I said, I wanted to go catch the guy that did it, but whatever. But about, a month later, I get approached at work by this business owner from Manitowoc, and he's like a county official kind of guy, and he says, Dave, I want to talk to you, and I'm at work, and he starts showing me these pictures. He says, I want you to join this club with us, and it's a bunch of naked pictures of guys and, having like, orgy kind of stuff going on, and I was like,
that sounds crazy to me. Do you think those two things are related? Like you witnessed this crime, and then after, they told you not to go look over there, but then afterwards, you said a county official came up to you and asked you to join a club?
Yeah, he says all the business owners are in it, and it's no big deal. We party, and all this, and he said that don't worry, we get girls sometimes too, and I was just really kind of freaked out. I mean, I was only like 19 years old, and I was still a virgin, I was like, well, I'd maybe like to take a chance at get it on myself first before I just blew him off, I thought, oh Christ, it was just weird for me.
That is weird. Like, so he just starts showing you, a county official comes up to you, and how long after that did you say that was? It was
a month or 2 months, it was shortly after, a month maybe,
but he just starts See, I'm fascinated with this because he starts showing you pictures of like naked guys. And
Yeah, and, I recognize some of the people. One of them was a junior high school football coach, and a couple other high school teachers.
What?
And well, that figures, you know what I mean? But whatever, and I didn't. He told me I should come and see him, and I just kind of blew him off. I was like, well, that was totally weird, And then about a year later, I buy a bar in Manitowoc, and I start getting harassed to come and join this club. All the business owners, you have to join this club. And sure as shit, the guy, one of the naked guys, the naked football coach guy, he shows up, and he's one of these guys that's telling me I have to join this club. And I was, I blew him off. I was discounting it as a bunch of weirdos, kind of,
yeah.
And it went on.
What kind of club is this?
I know, and then it goes on for about a year, and then it starts to get more serious. The guy's like getting on to me, you have to go down there. You have to, or something's going to happen,
He's coming into your bar. He's coming to your bar, like threatening you that something's going to happen if you don't join this club.
Yeah, and then I at the time I was sick of running a bar, man. I had the worst luck in the whole world running a bar. I was 20 years old, I was stupid.
Were they asking for money?
It was a racketeering scam. It was the first guy that came in. I asked him what it was going on, and he gave me the textbook definition of racketeering. You pay up, and then we throw you bones. We'll have a party at your place or something, and you know how racketeering works.
Yeah.
And then I got this woman who ran a bar from around the corner. Her name was Mary Ann, and her bar got condemned. And she asked to come and bartend for me, and she worked out really good. She wanted to manage my bar for me, and it was perfect, the perfect fit. I just wanted to get the hell out of the place,
Was she in the club? Oh, they don't have.
I don't know.
Oh, they don't have girls.
I think they might have female associates. You know what I mean? I don't know. I didn't join the club, so I don't know all the exact details. But then I have her running the bar, and she starts telling me that these guys who she knew, she's telling her that I have to come and join this club, and I kind of. I couldn't believe it was still, whatever. And then I was going deer hunting in 1988, and I talked to her the week before I was leaving for deer hunting. I went down there to talk to her.
Mary Ann?
And she was scared. She was like, Dave, these guys are really harassing me. I'm sleeping with a gun next to my bed, And I said, well, Mary Ann, when I get back from deer hunting, we'll go to the cops. And she said to me, but they are the cops. And I was like, oh, Christ, what the hell, So I left for deer hunting, and while I was gone for deer hunting, the day I left, she died. And I found out later that they say she had a heart attack, but her boyfriend found her in her apartment. She was like 42 years old, and she was covered in blood. And when he called the cops and they came there, they arrested him, or they didn't arrest him. They put him in handcuffs and held him, thinking that he killed her until they figured out supposedly she had this heart attack, And in the meantime, I was gone for a week and a half, and this was back before cell phones, and it was a lot of politics. Why nobody called me? It was family politics. But I get back a week and a half later after she died, and somebody gave away my whole bar. They had a party down there that weekend and gave away the whole place. All my shit was gone, all my money, everything. So I lost everything. I had to go bankrupt.
So you left town. You left town for a week, and
a week and a couple days.
Yeah, like the day you left or so, your friend and the manager of your bar died, and nobody called you, and they sold, or they got rid of everything in your bar. Like, what do you mean everything? Like just alcohol, or like even like the equipment in there?
Yeah, almost everything. All the alcohol, all the stock. I had a couple $1,000s down there for cashing checks because a bunch of local factories that come down on certain days, and in the morning we were open at 6 in the morning, and people would come and cash their check and have some drinks and stuff, And everything was gone. They had a party, supposedly a party, and everything was gone. I was done.
Was it a party like in recognition of Mary Ann?
Yeah, kind of, something like that. But the people, I wasn't there, and people I talked to there said these guys we're talking about were there giving away my shit.
Yeah, that doesn't make sense. So who was giving away your shit?
These guys,
The
guys
football
that were
coach,
threatening.
football coach, and all those people.
Yeah,
Yeah, you said she died of a heart attack, but had blood all over her. How does that happen?
I don't know. Supposedly you can have a heart attack where it's a serious enough heart attack, and your lungs get blood in them, and you aspirate blood. Supposedly that can happen. I never questioned it until Steven Avery found out that he didn't do this thing on the beach. You know what I mean? And then I started thinking, I'm like, well, if they could have had all the resources to frame Steven Avery with this rape, these same guys, because of some of the same people Steven Avery saying set him up, could have killed Marianne just to get at me or something, or, their stupid club or whatever,
Plus, there's probably ways to induce a heart attack, or with the blood.
Yeah, with the gun laying next to the bed, I don't know. I might have just shot her. The second time Steven Avery got in trouble here, somehow they bypassed the coroner. She didn't even look at the bones of Theresa Halbach.
Really?
These guys that are running this county are completely running it their way.
That's insane. It fits. Watching the documentary, it's like,
how big is this county?
I don't know. There's like 50 or 60,000 people in the whole county. Okay. Manitowoc is like 30,000. Two Rivers is like 15 or 13 or something like that.
Man,
did you mention that that the woman on the beach's story was different than what you saw?
Yeah, after Steven Avery got unconvicted of raping her, they did a couple of little documentaries with her. And on one of the documentaries, they said something about jet skis looking for her. But she said that these Good Samaritan people that found her laying in the dunes. You know what I mean? Like she said the guy had like choked her off and left, and she woke up and then was disorientated, and these people found her. And when I saw her, she was running like she was on fire out of the dunes, like somebody was chasing her, or she had just got away. And that's why I wanted to run and catch whoever it was. And if you know anything about satanic sex, cult stuff, they want to have people stand around and watch somebody assault somebody, And after everything I saw and everything I've experienced, I don't know for sure if that was going on, but it sure sounds a lot more likely, especially knowing that Steven Avery was framed the first time and possibly the second time.
Yeah, that is crazy, because now when you first mentioned, because the way I was thinking when you first mentioned that they said don't go up there, we've got guys up there, you're going to disturb our crime scene. I don't, you went up, and you said you saw a couple people up there. That doesn't necessarily line up with a woman running out of these dunes, obviously, like if a woman's running out, that to me that sounds like the crime is still happening.
Yeah.
And there's not enough time for a crime scene and police to already be engaged, because it started off with this husband just wanting to know where his wife was. The next thing you know, when you find her, she's like running away, but there's already people up there, and they're telling you not to go look at those people.
Now, there's a road that goes behind there. There's a possibility that they maybe had somebody out there. I don't know how they got so many people. Another weird thing was when I was leaving on the jet ski, the husband, he was like, yeah, I'll go look for her. But the cop was like, well, I don't know, Dave. I don't know if you need to do that. He was like, almost like he didn't want me to go, So I don't know. It's just now, and another thing, now that I've heard her story on the internet here with the, 20 years later after Avery got out, the description she gives of the guy that assaulted her looked just like the guy I saw standing there right in front of me.
Wow.
Sandy blonde hair, stocky, a little bit of a beard, So, I don't know,
What did you think of the documentary?
I thought it was great. I knew all that stuff because after he got framed the first time and got out, and then he got busted the second time, I was skeptical in the first place because I knew he was suing for $36 million. And the second part of this weird story, this curse that I'm under, is the night of the murder, the Halloween on 2005. Me and my wife are riding our bicycles in Two Rivers, and who do we see at a gas station? We see Steven Avery in his pickup truck filling gas cans, getting gas in Two Rivers at like 5 o'clock when he's supposedly creating mayhem and burning a body at his house, And I was, at the time we didn't know what was going on. We just saw him, and I pointed him out to my wife because I knew who he was. I was involved with the first thing, and he was on the news then because he was suing the county and the whole great big mess, So I pointed it out to her. And then 2 or 3 days later, when he got accused, my gut just turned. I was like, I can't believe that I was involved with the first thing, and now I see him on the night of the murder, you know. So I did what I could. I called the police department once, and I sent him a letter. I didn't want to go down there, you know. I never heard back from him, you know, and I watched the trial really close. And when he started getting all this stuff about losing the key or finding the key and all the tampering and evidence, I couldn't believe that it was like deja vu, man. I couldn't believe that the same shit was going on, you know.
Now, what do you think's happening with these people? Do you think the judge, do you believe that all these people are in cahoots, or do you believe that they're just kind of idiots?
Well, I think it's a mixture. You know, I don't say I believe he is innocent because I don't know. You know what I mean? I know he deserves at least one fair trial before they lock him up forever. You know, I know we should find out what happened the first time on the beach because that never got investigated. He was suing those people, and as soon as he got accused the second time, they dropped the whole thing about what happened on the beach the first time. You know, and I just thought that was total bullshit, you know, because I was waiting to find out what really happened because I had all these questions, you know, after 20 years to find out the guy is not guilty, you know. And like when he got first accused and, you know, he got put away, I was just like everybody now around that area. I was like, yeah, good for, you know, put him away forever. He threatened to kill her, you know, and then to find out he didn't do it, you know, it was messed up.
Now, did you know any of the people involved with the in the documentary? Just any of the people mentioned in the documentary, like even the Averys, or did you actually know any of these people in the town?
Well, I'm from the area. I've been out to the Avery salvage yard a couple of times, and I don't really know them guys, other than seeing him at the seeing Steven at the gas station that night. He was locked up, you know. Most of the time, I was an adult. You know, I never really talked to the guy that I can remember. You know, I went out to their salvage yard a couple times on business kind of stuff, you know.
And they, I mean, yeah.
You know, I knew who they were, you know.
I really liked his mom in that documentary. I really like how she was portrayed. I don't know why.
Yeah,
she seemed like a nice lady.
Yeah. But so you're saying you saw Steven Avery. You saw Steven Avery on Halloween, October 31st. You saw him at the time that he was supposedly doing this crime, and you actually saw him out somewhere else?
Yeah, at a gas station in Rivers.
Do you remember what time you saw him?
It was about dark, you know, so around 5 o'clock, you know.
Yeah, I don't exactly remember, but that's about what time that he was supposed to be doing that, right? What time did they say he did that?
Yeah, it was right then, you know. It's right in the middle of his mayhem, you know, supposed mayhem.
And you called and wrote a letter, and nobody got back to you. Why didn't you go down there? You said you didn't want to go down.
I don't want to go down there. I mean, that's like going to the devil's den. Them guys, I don't trust them guys for a second.
I'm with you.
Yeah. Was that known before this documentary came out? Is that something that's known in the Manitowoc community that it's kind of shady over there?
I had heard plenty of rumors. I'd seen plenty of stuff that wasn't quite right.
Wow.
What kind of rumors have you heard?
About this club? I mean, I can tell you the truth about this club. I was invited to join it after the incident that I talked about at the gas station, and it happened at least one or two more times where I was approached to join this club. I think they wanted me to join the club because they knew I saw Gregory Allen that day on the beach, and they wanted to have something on me. You know, once you're in this club, they take pictures of you with your pants down and stuff, and then they tell you to show your mother or whatever. I don't believe in Satan and all that kind of stuff. You know, I know there's evil, but I don't believe in, you know, all this, you know, I don't know what you want to call it, superstition. You know, this is more of a racketeering control system that they're running.
So you've heard rumors that they're satanic in some element, this club?
Yeah, well, that's what this kind of represents, where you've seen Eyes Wide Shut, right? That kind of activity, you know, that.
Yeah.
All these rich people, you know, affluent, they get together, and, you know, they got all the money in the world, and they've done every kind of sex you can have, so they start to want different kinds of sex, so they want to stand and watch somebody beat the shit out of somebody and rape them, or, you know, who knows what the hell, you know.
And that one guy.
Was that your wife?
Yeah.
What were you saying, John?
Was that Ken? That one guy got busted for the sex texting and all that. They said he went to sex rehab or something like that. I mean, that fits in with some type of...
Yeah, the prosecutor for the county.
Ken Kratz?
Right. Ken Kratz.
That was a part of the documentary. That really disturbed me because if you want to think about just if there is this club, like the type of power that you feel like you have over the community, to be a prosecutor and to think that you can get away with the type of stuff this guy was doing is just insane. Like
domestic abuse victim, he's trying to force her to sleep with him or something.
Yes.
Yeah, he was supposed to be like defending her against her husband, and he's sending her texts and stuff that he wants to get it on with her and stuff. Like I said in my videos that I have on the internet, that fits right in with these guys. It fits right in. Like that Gregory Allen, he was in trouble with the cops, and the Manitowoc police had surveillance on him up until the day he committed this rape, and then all of a sudden they pulled the surveillance on him, and he shows up on the beach and rapes Penny Beerntsen.
They had surveillance? They had surveillance on him?
Yeah, they knew he was some sort of sexual predator, and the Manitowoc City police had surveillance on him because they knew he was bad. And then the day of the rape, for some reason, they didn't have the surveillance, and he shows up on the beach and rapes Penny Beerntsen. And gets away with it, and goes and rapes someone else after, because they prosecuted the wrong guy.
Do you think that, this is just a theory, but do you think they had something against Penny and Penny's husband?
Well, that's something I said, if they're business owners in Manitowoc, maybe they were approached like me and didn't want to join the club, and this was killing two birds with one stone. They tried to get the Bernsteins back in line, and they wanted to frame Steven Avery because they had stuff against him. They had a feud going on out at the Avery compound with some neighbors. He had supposedly been running around outside naked, and the neighbor accused him of it, and then he ran her off the road and pointed a gun at her or something,
Yeah, was that confirmed? I can't remember.
Yeah, it was a county deputy's wife and a cousin of his or something that he ran off the road and pointed a gun at her because she said he was standing outside playing with himself or something,
There's a bunch of craziness going on over there. There's crazy people.
Yeah, I know, it's crazy.
Now, you met at the Averys, right, when you were a bouncer at somewhere?
Yeah, I was a bouncer out at Hearts Lake. It's like an outdoor music festival area. And they came out, the whole bunch of them, everybody always talks stuff about them, and there's lots of rumors about everybody, including me. But I never had any trouble with them. I can't say anything bad about them. There's a lot worse people that I had to deal with than them, but that's all I can say about them.
What are the rumors about you?
let's just keep it about me. This isn't really about me, all right,
now that you've been are people attacking you now that you're trying to get this information out?
Yeah, I've been just taking it on the internet. But even when the trial was going on, I was talking on local forums, telling them everything, even me seeing them at the gas station. And of course, I took a lot of crap. The people in the area are just mind fucked. You know what I mean? The Ken Kratz came on and did his little speech about, if you're under 15, just leave the room because this is so horrible and your morals will be offended forever. And then he gave all these gory details of Brendan Dassey's confession, and right then everybody who has morals just damned them. They were they're guilty and they should burn in hell, And then as soon as they started finding out that they planted evidence and this and that, nobody even wanted to hear it. They just wanted them to go away,
Why is that? Why didn't the community want the truth to come out? Why did they all want to put Avery away?
Like I said, Ken Kratz's media stunts. He tried the whole case in the media. He came out when they got Brendan Dassey's confession and gave all the gory details of he cut her throat and he stabbed her and they dragged her outside and they beat her and they shot her and everything. And now it turns out that they didn't find any blood in the trailer, even though he cut her throat and stabbed her. They're saying that somehow Steven Avery is like Dexter and he cleaned all the blood up perfect,
The garage, too, that's what gets me.
Yeah, the garage, too. Even if he was like Dexter and he was going to, make his whole room with polyurethane or whatever, polycarbonate, and why would he go in the garage and do it again? You know what I mean? It's just a bunch of crap. And I've watched I've watched Brendan's interrogations. You know, they took that kid out of school. He's like 16, and he's not the brightest guy in the whole world. And they led him to all this evidence. You know, they're like, Brendan, did you see her purse? He's like, no. Well, did you see a burning barrel? And then all of a sudden, I saw him put her purse in a burning barrel. You know, it's like, it's a load of crap. You know, same thing about getting his sweat evidence underneath the hood. You know, they led him right to that in the interview. Like, oh, did you see him open up the hood? And he's like, oh, yeah, he opened up the hood, you know. And he said after that he was guessing, you know. And who knows what they told him in the car ride over. They said they were going to bust him for selling crack and stuff, you know. The kid was scared.
I was guessing. Well, how can you guess that? I don't know. These just aren't things that you can guess, Brandon. I know. Yeah, that's the way they did that kid is fucked up. That's really sad.
Yeah.
And it seems like this is happening all the time, you know, like in these small towns around the world, you know, the United States, you know, the West Memphis 3 and that type of shit. And I'm scared to think of how many times this happens where there's not a video camera involved.
Yeah.
Yeah, no kidding. I can't believe they let that.
Yeah.
You know, it's something.
I can't believe that either, especially that Len Kurczynski or whatever his name is. You know, like the guy allowing them to videotape. I mean, he was videotaping himself, and the investigator. You know, his investigator is like, you know, videotaping himself committing crimes, and apparently thinking that it was a good thing because he was trying to please the prosecutor when he's supposed to be pleasing his client. It seems like everybody's sucking this prosecutor's dick over there. You know, it's insane.
Yeah, it's pathetic.
It seems like they know they're not going to get caught. Like who would be so stupid to do that? You know, record themselves and breaking the law. Da, da, da. He did it and he didn't care.
They're in the club.
Right, yeah, he knows he's in the club, so it doesn't even matter.
I think that Len guy likes being in the club.
Yeah, he looks like maybe the sub.
What the sub? Now, Dave, what were your dealings with the police, you know, outside of, you know, the rape situation, you know, where you were the witness there? Were they friendly with you, or did you ever have any run-ins, like DUIs or anything?
After I came off the beach, you know, and I put my jet ski away, the cops just said, well, I don't even remember if I filled out a statement, but they, you know, I didn't see anything. Well, you didn't really see anything, Dave, so you don't really need to do anything, you know. And, you know, at the time, I really didn't think I did, you know. I, you know, what am I supposed to think? You know, these guys told me that the other guys were cops, and they had it under control. They didn't want me to mess up their crime scene, you know.
But for
their crime scene might be double meaning, too.
But for your whole life that you were living there, did you ever have any other, you know, run-ins with them? Just normal daily, you know, day-to-day stuff like a DUI or anything, or even just someone breaking into your house and you had to call them? Like, you know, what was the general attitude on the regular stuff?
I don't know. I got busted for speeding and stuff like that, but I don't know. I never really had that big of a problem with them. I did when I was a kid. There was a police officer that broke into our house and threatened to kill everybody.
What?
Wait.
That only happened a couple of times, you know.
Only happened how many times?
Well, there he is right now.
A couple.
That was a joke, right?
No.
What?
No.
A policeman broke into your house?
Yeah. Well, my mom. I had a single mom. Okay. I didn't know my dad till I was 18. And this cop and my ma had something going on, and it was in and out, and it got ugly, you know. And it finally came to a head, and then it was covered up. You know, we went. We had to go hide up in a place up north, you know, at a priest retreat. Well, they supposedly located this guy because he went off the deep end.
Mm.
And then it all just that never happened. You know what I mean?
What was that guy's name? Do you remember?
I prefer not to go too deep into this. Right? There's a lot of angles on this I don't want to expose, but I guarantee you it happened. You know.
That's crazy, man.
Have you been getting any flack from anybody from Manitowoc? Like since you've been posting these videos on YouTube?
Well, just on the internet.
It's on the internet, but are they just internet trolls, or does anything strike you? Does anything stand out?
Well, people are mostly saying I'm looking for my 15 minutes of fame and stuff like that, and it's not. I've had my fame, and I worked for it. All right. I mean, this is not something I ever wanted to be involved in. This is like a curse to me. All right. So.
Yeah, I mean, this is the equivalent of testifying. Like, I don't think this is fame.
Yeah.
You know, you're not seeking fame here.
If anything,
Not
you
at all.
don't even want to do it because you're putting yourself out there. Is that why
Yeah, that's for sure.
Is that why you moved to Texas? Does that have anything to do with it?
Well, not really. My wife is from Texas, and she wanted to get away from the cold weather, and we moved down here. But it was kind of a welcome relief, you know, to kind of get away from this whole cult thing, you know, because you get blindsided by these people more than you realize, you know. I was running my own business. That was the only way I could get a decent job most of the time, is being self-employed, because most of the better jobs in the area are all controlled by this club. You know, the other time I was approached to join this club, I asked them, well, why should I join your club? And they said, well, the jobs. We can get you all these jobs, you know.
Yeah, that's how the mob
And
works. They control the jobs.
Yeah, and I just wasn't interested, you know, so I you know, when we came down here, it was, like I said, a welcome relief kind of, you know, to just get away from all that. But I went from the frying pan into the fire, because now we moved into Mills County, Texas, and in 2009, and we find out in 2011 that they're building all these 500-foot wind towers all around our house. And there was a secret meeting. I didn't find out about it until my neighbor told me about a secret meeting at a local school. And so I go down there, I crash the meeting, and find out, oh yeah, biggest wind turbine project in Texas. And there's been a steering committee since 2003, but nobody knew about it. My wife even called the local courthouse in 2011 when we saw them building these other wind turbines in the county, and the county officials lied to her. They told her, oh, we don't know about any more wind turbines around here. And then a couple years later, I hear about this secret meeting over here, and it turns out the official that she talked to was having wind turbines put on his land.
Ugh. And yet he claimed he knew nothing about any wind turbines happening.
Yeah, you know, I'm a shit magnet, so. So I'm in trouble down here too. If it ain't them up there that get me, it'll be them around here that get me, because I'm not well liked around here either.
Yeah, you guys are moving now, aren't you?
Yeah, we're selling our house. We're losing our ass. We're moving into a motorhome. It destroys your property value. Nobody wants to live around them noisy things, and they put them right next to your house. I mean, within a quarter mile. It's private property. Fuck you is the rule in Texas.
Back to the Averys. Watching the documentary from an outside perspective, it almost looks like everyone is just predisposed to kind of brainwashed into, you know, oh, the Averys, they're bad. Like, does the whole community kind of against these people in the way that they kind of made it seem like?
Yeah, you know,
like growing up
there's been
with
a lot of,
stories.
you know, there's a lot of rumors, and some of them are probably true. You know, I mean, Steve did throw that cat into the fire, and they've got domestic, you know, violence. But I mean, you know, that doesn't mean that you're going to murder somebody and try and frame them.
Well, here's the thing
I mean,
about
that's a big step.
About that cat, right? He was with this other guy.
Yeah, that was in 1980, and I remember hearing about that too, because it was kind of a big deal in the news.
So if
And yeah,
he's-
there were a bunch of stupid kids, and they were playing around with a cat, and somebody threw in a fire. I mean, it's terrible, but I mean, it's haunted him. He's surely paid for it. I mean,
But if he's as impressionable as that Brendan Dassey is, you know, maybe he didn't do it, and the guy that was with him was just said, "Oh yeah, Steve did it. He's crazy."
yeah, maybe. I don't know. I wasn't there.
One time I accidentally, or not, I don't know why I say accidentally. One time I intentionally lit the tip of my dog's tail on fire when I was like 10 years old, just to, I don't know why. I had a lighter and I was just like holding it closer and closer to the fluff, you know, and then eventually a little bit of it went up and then I patted it out, you know, I was like, whoa, you know, and snuffed it out. But, you know, I don't consider myself to be crazy. The dog,
No.
although the dog wasn't hurt. I didn't throw the dog into a fire.
You didn't douse it in fuel.
They said he doused it in fuel?
Yeah, right. Fuel and oil is what I read.
Yeah, something like that. Gas and oil or something.
I thought that was just a rumor.
Well, the
No,
whole
it's-
thing's just a rumor, isn't it? I mean, it was in the paper, I guess, right?
Yeah, and he admitted to it. Like he says in the documentary, he admitted to all his crimes. You know, he admitted to the cat. He admitted to burglarizing. But when he was in jail for this rape, he could have got out if he had like said he did it, but he wouldn't say he did it. That's why he sat so long, you know. Because he sat longer than some people who have sat for murder, for rape, you know.
Yeah, it is crazy because sometimes the people with murder will get out in 20 years.
Yeah, or less, you know. People hit people with cars around here and get 2 years per life. They kill people, drunken driving, and they get 2 years per life.
Dang.
Bleed out.
That's a weird system there. I don't know. 2 years per life. Like, wow.
Look it up. Look it up. It happens in Manitowoc all the time. Drunken people driving around, running people down.
Wait, you're saying 2 years per person you kill?
Yeah, that's what it averages out to. Sometimes depends how much money you got. You know, if you got a bunch of money, it's a little less. If you don't have no money, they'll put you in a little longer. But yeah, it's a joke.
Man, do you think have you talked to any other business owners that experienced this club situation?
Yeah, oh yeah. They're. I worked one place, and I was friends with him, and he would have me hide in the back when these guys would come to collect their tribute or whatever, because he didn't want them getting weird on them.
Made you hide in the back while they came to collect, but they were going to be pissed off
if
you were there?
Well, if they started to get weird, he would hope I would kind of break it up, so-and-so's here.
Okay. That's crazy. I mean, I don't mean crazy in the I don't believe. I just mean like that's like how is this going to be put to a stop?
I don't know. Hopefully that's why I made these videos. I knew this documentary was coming out, and I've been talking about this on the internet on local forums. That's where my YouTube channel name came from. It's Dr. Nephilim 666, and I was born in June of 1966. I'm not superstitious. It's kind of being cocky. And a Nephilim is a giant. I'm kind of big. I'm like 6'4", 240. But I would talk on the local forum in the paper, and I would get kicked off, and I'd have to come up with a new name, and this is just one name that stuck. But I've been talking about
of the public forum on the newspaper.
Yeah, it wasn't public, it's a newspaper, so it's private, And
for
so,
what?
I don't know, saying all the stuff I say, all the stuff about Avery, and I don't know how deep you guys want to get into politics on this show, but I'll give you my opinion.
As deep as you want to go.
Yeah. We don't want to get you in trouble or anything, but yeah, as deep as you want to go. I mean, because we don't know anything about it other than the documentary and then the things that you're telling us, but it just sounds like a whole other world up there. I mean,
and the newspaper's kicking you off their forum?
Yeah.
Yeah, well, I wasn't really being really nice, but I think they kicked me off for some people were complaining they didn't want to hear it. They don't want to hear, people telling them what it is. They just want to live in their little world and not hear all the bad things.
Now, do you think the Halbachs, the lady who got killed and whatnot, do you think that family was in the club?
I don't know. They're affluent. They're supposedly the way this club works, once you're in the club, they own you, and you do what they say. You've heard the theory about the German, right?
Yeah, I did read about that. Can you?
I didn't hear about that.
Tell us about the German, because I didn't hear all of it. That's his last name is German, is that right?
Yeah, supposedly there was some guy I think his last name is German, but he's from Germany. He's not from the United States, and he moved here, and he was living with a woman, and they had an apartment in Maribel, and supposedly this woman, this Halbach woman, was going to stop there and take a picture of this rental unit or something, and his wife said that she suspected that he killed her because she found some bones and a bloody fingerprint, and I mean, I'd have to read it on the internet to get all the exact details. But
right.
She called the Manitowoc police, and she says that the Manitowoc cop that she talked to, when she suggested that maybe her boyfriend or ex-husband or whatever the hell he is, killed Theresa Halbach too, and the cop said, well, they already have their guy for that. The exact same thing they said about him in the rape. When the Manitowoc police, because the Manitowoc police were watching that Gregory Allen, and they went to the county and said, you might have the wrong guy. Gregory Allen might have did that, and they told them the same thing. Well, we already have our guy. And another thing, when Gregory Allen was in jail in Brown County in 1995, he told somebody up there that he did this rape on the beach, and one of their cops in Brown County called Manitowoc County and said, we might have a guy here that did a rape that you got somebody else locked up for, and they didn't file a report about that until the day after Steven Avery got out 8 years later.
Yeah, that's ridiculous.
To cover their ass.
Yeah.
Was that
but
in the
anyways, this
documentary?
German guy...
Yeah, I think so.
Yes, that's in the documentary. The German guy isn't, though.
So what do you think? Where are you leaning toward? I mean, who do you think did? I know you're not going to say for sure, but there's all kinds of theories. Like there's the German guy, and another one is that the cops wanted to take his land. Things like
Yeah, I saw that one.
What do you think? Where are you leaning?
I don't know, judging from what I saw on the beach and stuff, my best guess would be it was a similar situation. Like Gregory Allen was their actor for their satanic sex act on the beach. This German guy was probably their actor because he had contact with the police. He was in trouble.
What do you mean
He was
actor?
well, when they have these satanic sex rituals and stuff, all the big shots and stuff, they don't want to get their hands dirty. They don't want to be involved because, they could possibly get in trouble. They all just want to stand around and watch. So they take some poor soul like Gregory Allen or this German guy or somebody who they can control because they're in trouble and have them, do all the carnage, and they all stand around and watch. So, and Halloween is one of these satanic dates and stuff. So possibly they had their satanic ritual with poor Miss Halbach and had the German guy as the actor and then frame Steven Avery again.
Yeah, that's super deep, man. And how do you stop something like that? Again, I guess we already said, but try
What
to
I'm doing
expose
right
it,
now, I put this on the internet. I put these videos out. I've been talking about this.
How
No
can
matter
we make
what
this
it is.
world? How can we make this world a perfect place?
Dave,
I
tell
don't
us.
know if you got. It's got to start locally, though. People have to start locally. These local politicians are the ones that you can put your finger on. They're the ones. And if you can clean up your local politics, maybe we can clean up our national politics because it's the same mess of bribery and coercion.
It's going on everywhere.
Yeah, well, the country's run by lobbyists. These politicians that we get to vote for are nothing but puppets. They're puppets for the lobbyists and the corporations.
I don't think anybody disagrees with you.
Yeah, we were just
The whole
talking about that
country's
before.
like a runaway
the show.
train. The whole country's like a runaway train, and all the president gets to do is blow the horn.
So who are you looking at for this election?
I won't vote until I think it's an honest candidate. And I think if you vote for any of these guys, it's like contributing to a crime.
Yeah, their actions are on your hands.
See, I have
That's for sure.
I have a different theory. I just don't believe that voting I don't think your vote counts.
I agree. I think that's another big part of it. I think if you're going to vote, if you're going to have a voting system, the voting should be public, and they should publish everybody's vote so everybody can go and check their vote. And then there won't be no lying. And these voting machines, from what I've seen, it's a joke. They don't even work.
And do you think we sound like lunatics?
No, not at all. That's what I see happening right in front of me.
Yeah, I guess it depends on who you ask, because some people have not heard of this type of stuff. Other people have.
Now on a smaller scale, right? Your vote counts, right? For like the mayor,
Maybe
governor.
locally, but I don't know. Look at how this all works. When I was in Two Rivers, they wanted to build a new school for $7 million. And people were against it because all the factories were leaving, the population was going down, and they had like 5 votes, and every time it got voted down, and more people got pissed because they didn't want this new school, and finally it gets voted in. And then the new school cost $7 million, and then another $7 million for extras.
Extras.
Extras, yeah.
That's 100%.
And you know who they hired to build the thing? A bunch of union guys,
Do you think the union guys are in the club?
For sure.
Did you see what type of other corruption type stuff like that or weird things that caught your eye did you see in that area?
I don't know. They just built a water park in there in Manitowoc that, in my opinion, they spent like $10 million on that thing. Nobody really wanted it. Now they aren't plowing the streets because they don't have any money. They got a public utilities, Manitowoc Public Utilities. The guy who runs the place makes like, I don't know, $1.5 million a year or some crap like that. and they call it public utilities, and they had a whole bunch of money in their funds, and they wanted to take the money from the public utilities and maybe pay off some of this other city stuff. And it turns out it's not Manitowoc Public Utilities, it's Manitowoc Bondholders Utilities, because they couldn't have the money.
That's twisted.
What does that mean? Bondholder and not utility?
Yeah, the bondholders are the ones that control the money, not the public.
Yeah, that's how I feel like I get screwed the easiest, because I really just have no idea what's going on. Like, I don't know, like what you're talking about, I have no idea what that means.
Well, if you kind of understand how the monetary system works, the actual currency that we spend, they print it out of thin air. It doesn't mean anything. They take the money and they print it out of thin air, and then they give it to their buddies, the bankers, and then they borrow it out at interest. Right now, the interest for the bankers is 0 or 0.01 or something like that. And then the bankers take the money and they borrow it out to whoever at whatever 5% interest, and they collect all the money. Like all these municipalities, they got a project and they got to borrow $10 million for a municipality. They got to pay interest on that. When the government prints the money, the municipality should be able to borrow that money at the prime lending rate 0, instead of having all these mobster bondholders in the middle.
Yeah, that sounds terrible.
Well, that gets people killed all the time, and that's probably why Lincoln got killed, and that was more what the Civil War was over than blacks and slavery. But nobody wants to talk about that.
Jake, what do you think about all this?
I don't know.
Jake, you've seen the documentary, right?
Yeah. It's awful. I mean, I don't know. Fucking systems.
Did you just say
Clubs.
fuck the system?
Yeah.
That's
The
Jake.
System of the Down.
What?
System of the Down has got a song like that, don't they? Fuck the system or something like that.
Yeah.
That's Jake. He's our resident radical.
Yeah.
All right, John, do you have anything? I'm at a loss here.
I mean, there's so much, but thank you for what you've given us, Dave.
Well, thanks for having me on.
Yeah, that's it, man. Yeah, thank you so much for taking time to just tell us about all this and just let us see what it's like. Let the outside world see what Manitowoc County is actually like. Because I know the neighborhood I live in, I've never heard of that. Like, I've never heard of clubs.
It happens. It's got to happen here too.
Yeah, maybe. I'd like to know about that. But this guy's talking like every single small business owner. Like, I haven't heard of people like Greenwood.
Almost everyone, But when you're in a small town, it's easier to see.
Right.
If it's happening in a bigger city, you may not be able to notice it, and they probably don't get away with as much. Maybe, I don't know.
We're on the outskirts of a big city, so I mean.
But in downtown Greenwood, have you ever heard of anything
It's just the
like
big
that?
city stuff. No, but I mean, I'm sure if you go out to like Gary, Indiana, I'm sure you hear about some backwater dealings.
Yeah, when I think Gary, Indiana, yeah, I think corrupt officials.
Or I don't know, even
What are you spilling over there?
even crazier. Everything.
Yeah, what were you saying, Dave? We interrupted you.
No worries. I was just listening to you guys.
All right. Well, yeah. Thanks again. And I hope, I hope that this is not happening in my town.
True.
And I hope it's not happening in the town that you're going to end up in. And good luck with you. Good luck with you and your wife with selling that property.
Thanks.
And I'm sorry to hear about your greenhouse.
Yeah, it's a bummer. What can I say? I learn my lesson all the time.
All right. Well, have a good night.
You too.
Bye.
David Begotka jr.blogspot.com.
davidbegotka.jr.blogspot.com.
Yeah.
How do you spell that? DavidBegotkajr.blogspot.com. Dr. Nephilim 666 on YouTube. Could that JR possibly be Junior?
It probably is. But it's not the word Junior. It's just the JR.
And his YouTube channel is Dr. Nephilim 666.
Right. Check ChrisBreakShow.com for the blog posts. Have some links to that.
This conversation, the more we get, it seems like our show is kind of turning into where we speak to like, kind of conspiracy type people.
The last few have definitely been that way.
And but sometimes it seems like they started off real wacky, and then now it's like they're all starting to make sense, and they're starting to sound a lot more credible. Like this gentleman sounded fairly credible.
He was talking about that heart attack, and then when we talked to the TI, a targeted individual, a couple episodes ago, she was talking about they had a machine that'll give you a heart attack or whatever. That was
Why do you think these small town fuckheads have machines that can cause heart attacks?
I don't know, but that came to mind during it.
I mean, you could probably give somebody a heart attack, right? Just by, shocking their chest.
Yeah. Or just scaring them.
The DIY heart resuscitator. Was that Jackass 3.5? Car battery with like jacks on them. No.
Oh God.
Yeah.
But that's all.
We need to talk to more people from Manitowoc County, more business owners.
That sounds interesting.
Ooh, that sounds scary as shit. See, this scares the hell out of me. That's what I'm saying. Like, I keep these devil cults keep popping up. Like, John, what the hell are you doing?
This is you guys recommended I watch this documentary. You haven't seen it all. You got to watch it.
Yeah,
I watched it, and then I went on YouTube. I was like, Steve Avery case or whatever, and this guy's video pops up. I was like, oh man, this is some crazy stuff. Like,
you always end up into the devil cult stuff. There's always these sacrifices happening.
Well, we're in Indiana, so nothing can happen to us. So
yeah, they're all the way up there. They're near
no, we're in Kansas. My bad.
Oh, we're protected. We're in the gateway to hell.
Right.
Yeah, maybe that's it.
Oh, Jake.
Sorry.
Got
excited.
I don't have anything else to say. I ran out of stuff to say on this show. It's been an hour.
Well, this is just such a heavy topic, man, and this is like, what do you say about it? It's just
such
staggering.
a heavy topic, man.
It's staggering how like ridiculous it is. It sounds like some crazy story someone would write. If you haven't seen Making a Murderer, you should go check that out.
And now on top of that, there's this racketeering club happening that for some reason, instead of just being like, hey, we're from your friendly neighborhood association, we just want some money, we'll protect your business. If you don't give us money, we'll beat you up, but if you give us money, we won't let anybody else beat you up. Instead of just keeping it simple like that, why does there have to be a satanic ritual involved? I don't see any satanic rituals on The Sopranos.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, what's with these naked pictures of dudes?
I don't know.
You got teachers coming up saying, county officials like, hey, man, you want to join this club? And then they show you a picture. Because normally it would sound, okay, when he said they asked him to join the club, when he was a business owner, it was just, that it was like a football teacher or something, football coach. Just comes and like, hey, man, you should join this club, like, you'll pay dues, we'll throw you some bones, like, that sounds normal.
Yeah.
But before he was a business owner, after he witnessed that crime, the guy comes up and says, hey, man, you want to join this club? Here's some naked pictures of dudes.
With the naked teacher in it.
The guy that he would later meet, asking him to join the club. But why is his one approach to show him pictures of naked dudes, said, you want to join this club? And then the other approach is,
hey, man, you want to hang out? Get some beers, join a club?
Yeah, you own a bar, we'll throw you some bones.
Yeah, that's a good point, yeah. Well, he said he was younger the first time. Maybe they thought, they could rope him into some weird young boy stuff, which this stuff always comes back to. The powerful people, they just want these young boys.
Really?
I don't know. We've all talked about that, the corruption you've talked about it on the show for some reason.
I've never said that.
What stuff you're talking about is crazy. I never said that. The people get, powerful up, and they just, for some reason, they gravitate towards doing stuff with young boys.
Whatever they want. They gravitate towards whatever they want.
Right.
And some people might want young boys.
Then this guy was a younger boy, and he came up to him with some naked photos. He said, I don't want that in this.
But wouldn't it normally work like, hey, here's naked pictures of girls.
Yeah, yep.
Why don't you come hang out with us? Oh, yeah, the girls will be here in a little bit. Just go ahead and take your pants off and we'll get you ready.
Well, he said it was kind of half and half. Are these people idiots or are they like in cahoots? He's like, hey, it's kind of both. You know? You did what? No, don't start him with the gay pictures. Don't start him with the naked teacher. Yeah, right. And yeah,
plus joining a club like right off the bat, like, hey, you want to join the club? Like, I don't know about that.
Yeah.
I'm not joining your club.
I wanted to ask him, is it some like type of Masonic club? Because I thought someone online was saying something like that.
Is there an actual establishment somewhere?
They can't put that on the flyer.
Well, that's what the person online had written. They're like, yeah, it's XYZ Lodge, you know.
There's actually a location?
That's what someone had commented on.
Get this guy back on the
it's like the Moose Lodge out there.
That's what one of the comments on one of his videos was, a location.
I'm a horrible interviewer.
No, you're not.
Like two or three questions in, I'm like, dude, I don't know what to ask this guy.
Because we watched 10 hours of footage about a case that made no sense, and each episode it got weirder and more bizarre, and it's the craziest thing you've ever heard. And so it's like, hey guy, tell me about this rape case. You know, like, where do you start? I don't
know.
Well, yeah, we didn't know, so I think it went well. The things to take away from it, he saw Steven Avery at the time he was supposed to be killing that person and burning her up. That's pretty crazy.
Just go check out Dr. Nephilim's YouTube videos. He's got the start of a good greenhouse going.
He built his own greenhouse, but
he didn't get all the way.
The greenhouse he never should have built.
Yeah. Yep.
He never should have built that thing.
That's correct. All right, guys, you want to call it a night? Or,
yeah, I guess so.
Or you got something you want to do? You got somebody you want to call, John?
I don't.
Jake, you need anything? You got to do anything?
Nope.
Is there anything you want to talk about or bring up?
Nope. Not that I can think of.
Jake.
I'm sorry. Nothing.
Okay. It's a shame to leave so soon. I saw that Hateful Eight.
How was that?
No spoilers. It was good. That's my review.
It was good.
Yep, I liked it. I highly recommend it.
Is that a long movie?
It is about 3 hours long, I believe.
That's pretty long.
Movie.
Samuel L. Jackson was amazing. He has an incredible monologue that came out of nowhere that I really enjoyed.
A monologue?
Those are always fun.
Yeah. All of a sudden, he just has some monologue. He starts giving some speech, and I'm like, what the fuck is going on here?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. And it gets crazy. That movie gets crazy. I like the movie because it feels like two movies. I like it because it builds up everything, and then all of a sudden, it's just like, what the fuck is going on now?
Wow.
You know? Like, it's real chillaxed, you know?
Nice.
Like you know how in Pulp Fiction you got your chill scenes and you got your crazy scenes?
Yeah.
Well, this was like, but they came and they went. Well, this is like the whole first like half of the movie is one big chill scene. And then the whole second half is like, what the fuck is going on?
Did they have the intermission? Is that the one?
The 70mm Roadshow had the intermission. I thought that we were going to have it with the digital, but no intermission. And it really sucks because you can tell where the intermission's supposed to be. Because the screen goes black for just a few seconds, and then it goes, well, it's been 15 minutes since we've seen our characters. Oh, man.
Like, God damn it, I could have pissed.
Yeah, really?
Yeah.
I should have pissed. I'm going to.
I am pissed.
I'm pissed I didn't piss.
I enjoyed that. And I'll tell you another thing. I'll give you another movie review of an older film. I watched this last night. I've probably seen it 20 times in my life. I can't get enough of it. I believe I saw it when I was like 10 or 11. Leap of Faith.
Leap of Faith.
Starring Steve Martin.
Yeah.
And Liam Neeson.
I've seen it on television.
Deborah Winger and Meatloaf and Philip Seymour Hoffman. You ever seen that?
I have seen that.
Oh, you watched it?
Yeah, with commercial breaks and whatnot.
Wow. Dude, that movie, once that movie starts going, it does not stop for like 40 minutes, you know. There's like, it doesn't slow down until like 40 minutes into the film. He's got a bunch of gospel singing and jumping around and healing people.
Oh, yeah, I love that movie.
That's
I just don't know the name of it.
Yeah, right. What is the name of that again?
Leap of Faith.
Leap of Faith, yeah.
Where Steve Martin is he's a, I guess a con artist. He's a preacher. He's a faith healer.
Hey,
You know? Yeah.
praise Jesus.
You're out of a job? Well, you work for Jesus now.
I can walk.
The guy's amazing. And I feel like, because I saw the movie when I was a kid, and because, you know, it's like, oh, Steve Martin, you know, was sitting there. And I think that movie probably had some effect on my religious beliefs and my skepticism. I think that movie might have made me a skeptic. You know what I'm saying, guys?
Well, you should be a skeptic because a lot of those TV guys are full of shit. You know, those TV
Yeah.
preachers and stuff. Like,
John,
yep.
I forgot to tell you. You recommended that movie, An Honest Liar,
Yeah.
about James Randi. And then apparently you didn't even watch it. You fell asleep 20 minutes in.
Yeah. But it had all the makings of a really great piece.
I told you a few of the things that he goes after. One thing, the best part of the movie, I think, with one of the greatest reveals, is when he goes after the televangelist.
Really? Wow.
That is An Honest Liar. If you have not seen that documentary, check it out. It was amazing.
As far as I got, the guy created a fake.
I couldn't stop watching it. Yeah, he was like the modern day Houdini. Randy, he would expose the shit out of everybody.
Right.
Who was, you know, claiming they had, you know, psychological powers.
Yeah,
You know,
psychic.
or
Yeah.
speaking to the dead.
Yeah. But they actually, like, as far as I got in there, they actually made that Carlos guy, like, he was on Time magazine, right? Like, people believed it. Like, you got to go see Carlos, you know.
Yeah, it was Jose Alvarez, right?
Yeah, that sounds right.
See, but yeah, you don't.
That's a huge, like, or you know, like,
You don't.
I'd never heard about that. Like, that's a huge, like, that's an Andy Kaufman-esque, like, level prank, you know? Like, that's hilarious.
You don't even know. Like, you thought that was over.
If you think that's good.
No, that guy.
Yeah.
Like, he's in the whole documentary,
Yeah.
and some things come out.
Real about. Oh yeah, right. Like the documentary ends up being like the guy's kind of sketchy or something.
Yeah, you could say that. I mean, I wouldn't say that, but you could say that.
Or there's something in there
Yeah,
revealed about him that you didn't expect.
That's a fair way to put it. Yeah. That sounds good. But that leap of faith, dude. Like, man, yeah. And when James Randi goes after that leap of faith type guy, like, that was the best part of the documentary, I think. But Leap of Faith is just such an uplifting film to me. And I don't know. I can't tell the end of it. I'm not sure if it's like pro-religion or, you know, it's one of those weird movies. It's like basically kind of says, well, I don't know if it says religion's bullshit or God doesn't exist, but it basically, to this guy, he's not who he says he is, you know?
Right.
But then by the end, something happens, you know? And yeah.
I didn't ever get to the end of it because, like I said, I had to sit through commercial breaks.
Oh, man. I can't get enough of that film. You want to watch it? I'll watch it. So watched it last night. I'll watch it again. Gospel. All right, guys. Jake, movie review.
Anybody watch Marco Polo
Never heard of it.
Marco Polo.
on Netflix?
No?
Is that something good to watch?
It's all right. It's good enough I watched it, but that 100 Eyes, it's badass.
100 Eyes.
It's like a prequel to it. It just came out on Netflix.
Are you going to tell me what it is? Why should I watch this?
I don't know if you'd like it, but there's a lot of action that you'd fall asleep to, apparently.
Is it a...
Marco Polo.
It's like some Chinese guy with a sword, right?
Yeah.
He's a blind monk.
The story of Marco Polo, like, this guy
This sounds horrible.
from Europe goes to China looking for silk.
Is it the Marco
He's
Polo
like a silk trader.
from the history books?
Yeah, kind of, but an action-y, like, turn.
I mean, is it the
twist
historical
on it.
Marco Polo, or is he just happen to be named that?
No, it's supposed to be the
Okay.
historical, like, but I don't think they're trying to be factual.
Right.
But
Some cyber Marco.
So they make
no,
him...
not cyber. But
So they make him like a beast.
yeah, they got some kung fu in there.
That sounds horrible, Jake.
It was pretty fun to watch.
I do like watching the good like kung fu fight scenes.
Yeah, like Kill Bill.
Yeah, or
You get a lot of that in there.
the one that I really like was Old Boy. There's like a really long one in there. It's like a 5 or 6 minute long. He's just fighting tons of guys.
Oh boy. What?
You never saw Old Boy?
I don't think so.
Oh, Jake.
That's like the best Spike Lee movie ever made.
I'll have to check that out.
I haven't seen his remake of it or whatever.
Spike Lee.
But it's like a revenge trilogy, like Tarantino, he makes those revenge movies.
Yeah.
It's like that.
Okay.
The guy gets his ultimate revenge on somebody. It's really weird.
I want Tarantino to get off this Western shit.
Oh, is this one also Western? Hateful Eight?
Oh, this movie's awesome, John.
But it's still, post-Civil War Wyoming.
Yeah. I was cold watching it because it all takes place, there's lots of coldness, snow. It's a blizzard. It's got Kurt Russell in it. How can you go wrong?
I was going to say, I didn't realize it was Kurt Russell. That's great.
Well, I didn't realize going into it that Samuel L. Jackson is the star of the film. Like, he's the lead dude.
I don't think I knew anything about it.
What? How come I'm the only one who's seen this?
You have to go out to the theater for this one.
Yeah. You guys want to go to the theater and see it?
Sure.
Just don't drink a big gulp beforehand. Because there's no intermission.
3 hours of sitting down, that's not good for you.
I wish we had a club. Tell me.
Whoa, buddy. I don't know. You want to know club.
How do you, money talks, bullshit walks.
Right.
So imagine if you started acting, like Tony Soprano or even Don Corleone. Like, imagine if, you're watching the movie and there's no intermission. But you got to go to the bathroom. What would happen if you went to the projectionist or somebody, or even the person at the front desk, just anybody in the theater,
Yeah.
and gave them $100 and says, "Can you pause this movie?"
That would be great.
Yeah. Do you think that you could make that happen? If you started, in corporate society today, if you started acting like a mob boss and throwing money around like a maniac. Right. Yeah, if you're just real friendly and said, just like, here's how it works.
Me and the guys from the neighborhood are watching the movie in number 8.
Yeah,
How about you go ahead and shut that off?
Yeah, you come out. That's exactly what you do. You come out of the theater, and you go up to somebody and you say, "Hey, I'm sitting there. We're in theater 8, and we really got to go to the bathroom. So if you could just do me a favor and pause it and kick it back about 3 minutes it took for me to come out here to tell you this. Here's $100. I hope there's no problem."
That would be hilarious.
But do you think this would work?
Why not?
Here's how. In the hotel business, when I was a valet, that works.
Yeah.
Okay, they hand you some money, do this for me, and you do it.
Yeah. It doesn't matter what they're asking. Like, if they hand you enough money, you'll fucking do it. Your valet, your job's to park cars. But if a guy comes out and gives you, $50 and says, "Hey, man, we don't feel like getting a cab. Here's the keys to my car. Can you just drive us over there to such and such, and then, we'll give you a call back and you can come pick us up." That's not on the menu.
Right.
But they give you money, so you do it. Or here's speaking of Hateful Eight, Michael Madsen does this once. He came out. Michael Madsen was in town. He came out, gave the valet $50, and said, "Hey, can you guys run over to the White Castle and grab us a Crave case? Here's my keys.
Wow.
And you can keep the change."
How much money do you give him?
Like $50. Might have been more. So like a Crave case is what, like $20 or something?
And it's right down the street, right?
How much is a case of White Castles?
20 sounds about right, but I don't know.
Yeah. And it's literally right around this fucking corner.
Yeah. That's cool.
And you're driving Michael Madsen's rental car.
Hey, you know who rented this? Michael Madsen.
Yeah, like these. So, can you do that? Like, can you go into the movie theater and say, "Hey, I'm late for the movie. We don't have time to wait in line. Here's $50.
I'm in the club.
Can you get me 1 large popcorn, 2 Sprites, and we'll be sitting in the middle there. Here's $50.
Right.
Like,
Do you think corporate AMC's going to notice the clocks being set back to like 7:53?
yeah, there are
for time.
Yeah, there are show times. You know, so yeah, you could technically be delaying the next show time. But is that guy going to give you $100?
Yeah, is your manager going to give you a $100 bonus?
Yeah, is the next guy giving you $100?
If they have any problem, you come to me. I'll give you a job.
It's all about if the big guy's going to stop it.
Get out this place. You can work for me now.
Well, here's what
I
happens.
want a soda and a popcorn.
Now, when you say big guy, which big guy do you mean?
The man, the boss.
Like the boss in the building?
Yeah.
Well, if the boss in the building comes out and has a problem with it, you throw him a couple hundreds. You say, and you apologize to him.
But he's got another boss. That's the problem with corporate. He's got a boss that he answers to.
He'll figure it out.
you arrange a meeting between the bosses.
Now, he'll figure it out for a couple $100. If it's a one-time only thing, for a couple $100, I'm sure he would. He would figure out a way to explain to the bosses why a one-time showtime happened to be a few minutes late.
Yeah,
One time only thing, anything works. Anything goes on a one time only.
yeah. I'll try to do it again. I hate when this guy comes in. He always wants to give me a bunch of money for something I don't want to do.
Got all these people pissed off. Like go.
I wish I had millions of dollars to where I could start like testing this.
Yeah, I was gonna say you almost have to go test it out.
Yeah, I want to know.
I almost guarantee you that you could get someone to do it.
Like if I'm running late for a movie,
Yeah,
I want
part
to
of
know
it-
how much it would take for me to pay the theater to hold the film.
Start a GoFundMe.
Part of it's the authority thing too. If you're gonna play that on the employee,
GoFundMe, like
That would
help
be
me
fun.
raise money so I can act like a boss.
We have to test the theory.
yeah, you put the reports on the internet. But if it's just some kid that's working there for $6.50 or something, I bet you he would do it. You know.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. At late at night or
Yeah.
like during the day, sure.
You could even probably just pretend to be one of his buddies, like, "Hey, Robert sent me." You know.
But I'm
hey."
talking about like prime time, like the whole place is full, and then you walk down and give the guy $100 to back it up.
Because in theory, they've made
pause.
more than $100.
And you've
because the
gotta
tickets
take-
are $20 a piece, or you know.
And you've got to take a long piss or at least a small shit. Like a substantial
top
amount
frame.
of time, 10 minutes at least.
Yeah, they probably wouldn't do it. $100. I don't think $100 would get
Okay,
it done.
$500.
If you met the right guy,
I don't
Yeah.
know if money would do it.
500. Yeah, it would. $500. The right guy. Like you'd have to know, because a lot of this shit might be automated now.
Yeah, I don't even know how you do pause it or whatever.
You might not be able to. There's a way.
There's always a way.
You could definitely get it done in these shit movie theaters.
Yeah, the dollar
I
movie.
used to go to this one on the north side called Movie Buff. And it was an old
That's a good name. The Movie Buff Podcast.
I think it was a Sony. Did they used to have Sony? What are some of the names of the old?
Sony theaters, yeah.
It might have been a Sony. It's one of those. They used to have one kind of by the mall over here, kind of where that Gander Mountain is. But when you go in this movie theater, you can tell, like, these used to exist 20 years ago, and you used to go there as a kid. It's the movie theater that had the Smints out all the time. Yeah, so when you go in there, you recognize this place immediately. It's just one long hallway. As soon as you walk in, you can see the end at the very end. Like, it's one long hallway.
Yeah,
the
I
whole
remember
building.
that.
Yeah, and there's one of these on the north side, and they bought it, and they haven't done any repairs to it, but they bought a big sign that it's like the equivalent of "I assure you we're open." Like it's just a white banner that says Movie Buff Theater that they tacked onto the building.
That's kind of cool.
You go in there, half the carpet's ripped up. Yeah, I went into one of the theaters, and like the curtains were like hanging off the wall. But it's $5 for everything. Like brand new movie, $5.
Oh, nice.
Yeah,
New movie. Wow.
it's just a shitty theater. But yeah, we were seeing what's that fucking film? The Dictator. My father and I. And you ever seen that?
I haven't seen it, but yeah, I know what it is.
Oh, that's a good one.
For the Dictator, that place might set the theme.
Yeah. So we're seeing The Dictator. It's supposed to start at 5 o'clock. My dad's looking at his clock. It's like 5:08, 5:09. He goes out there into the hall. And he goes,
Movie didn't start on time. Oh man.
yeah. And he goes out there and he goes, hey, is this movie supposed to be starting? And some kid just looks at him and goes, oh shit, and just took off sprinting.
Now that's the kid who would take your $100.
Yeah, that kid would definitely take your $100.
He'd take $20.
And the guy at the register just started laughing. He goes, "That's our projectionist."
It was a good thing your dad went out there and asked.
I always hate that situation when you're in the theater and you don't know, like when there's a situation and you don't know if somebody's going to run to the aid. So you got 30 people sitting there and the movie's not started. And it's like, which one of us is going to go tell somebody? Should I tell somebody? Should he tell somebody?
And there's a chance that the second you walk out as the movie starts,
Yeah.
You get up there, the movie's not started. What are you talking about? It's rolling right now.
But anytime somebody, because usually it's never me. Usually I see somebody else get up to go do it. And I usually yell a big thank you at them. Because I know what they're doing.
Thanks, man.
Yeah, they're taking one for the team. We're all sitting here. We all want to see the movie. This guy's going to go make sure it happens.
Funny.
That's a good guy to be.
Is it?
That's a good guy to have.
A good guy to have. Yeah, there's one of those guys in every theater.
I wouldn't mind being the guy because you get to get up and walk around.
You're there to see a movie, John. You don't want to get up and walk
Well,
around.
you're sitting there waiting.
It's like
There's
you're just
nothing worse than sitting
you're
there
always
waiting.
looking for an excuse to just get up and walk around.
Dave just sent us an email about gang stalking in Manitowoc.
What?
Yeah, we didn't even scratch that surface with him because I didn't know. But yeah,
Did he go to our website or something?
I don't know what it is. He said someone just sent this to me. I thought you'd find it interesting, and it looks like it's on another WordPress site. But
Well, we'll have to get with them again later.
yeah,
Someone listened to this and sent him something about gang stalking in Manitowoc.
that's what he said. Yeah,
Manitowoc.
Manitowoc.
Manitowaka.
Manitowoc.
What's that?
It's a thing to say or something, right?
I know that song, I think.
I'm in the dark
Hey,
here.
like Mele Kaliki Maka.
Oh,
It's a Hawaiian Christmas song or something.
I think so.
I don't
think
know.
I've heard that somewhere.
I thought you didn't celebrate Christmas, John. What are you doing with these Hawaiian Christmas songs?
I know the song.
All right, let's get the hell out of here.
We will definitely have to talk to him about this stuff.
Ooh.
Gang
all right.
stalking Manitowoc.
Thank you, Dave. Thank you, John. Thank you, Jake.
Thank you, Chris.
You're on top of your game today, Jake.
Thanks.
I don't know if I'm being sarcastic or telling the truth.
I don't know how to take that.
Yeah. I'd like to thank Darren Snyder at Indian Tune, and I'd like to thank Mike Moore from the Wheelbarrow Full of Dicks, and I'd like to thank John G from 405. I would like to make a public address here. To any show whose butt hurt, any show on Strange Label, because Mike Moore from Wheelbarrow Full of Dicks, you're the only show on Strange Label that we mention here at our end of the show thank yous.
Now, why is that?
Yeah, and I just want to explain it. It's because in my eyes, Mike Moore runs the station here. And, all these people that we thank at the end have helped our show out, and they continue to help our show out.
In significant ways.
In significant ways. So, if we don't thank you, it doesn't mean we don't like you or we're trying to be assholes. It just means that you're not helping our show in a significant way. We would love to put you on this list. Just, help our show in a significant way. So speaking of which, I'd like to re-thank Darren Snyder from Indian Tune, and Mike Moore from the Wheelbarrow Full of Dicks, and John G from 405 Media. I'd like to thank Mary Elizabeth Rumsey from meandrhyme.wordpress.com, and Mike Moore from Wheelbarrow Full of Dicks, and Rich Barker from Punk Rock Night at the Melody Inn, where every Saturday night is Punk Rock Night at the Melody Inn, 38th in Illinois and Indianapolis. Jake!
Thanks to Ron at Radio Mix Music. Jeremy at Couch Potato Nation. Mark at Tangent Bound Network. Jack at The Mix FM. Suma Peter at Loudtown Online Radio.
What was that last one?
Suma Peter.
Nice.
At what?
Loudtown Online Radio.
I thought I was happy that you got Sue and Peter right, but then I could have sworn you said Loadtown Radio.
Oh no, Suma Peter at Big Loadtown Radio on. Tom at Talk Street Live. Mike at IRN Internet Radio Network. Toby at Radio Blitz. Mars Soundman at United Sound Choice, Tico at FJS Radio, Peter at Cornucopia Broadcasting, Big Nate on the air at Cover Charge Radio.
Big Nate dropping bombs. Jake, are you gonna drop a bomb?
Jake, you're running out of time.
Okay, thank you very much. I hope you play it, and I know this is recording, and I hope you play it. Okay, see you guys.